Sleazy Mexican rapist who's been deported 20 times shows up to court with 6 surprise for his victims. Americans have been struggling with the issue of immigration for some time now, with most of us being descendants of immigrants to some degree or another, with the obvious exception of the American Indians who beat us all here. We understand the importance of accepting outsiders. We also understand how impartiality it is to our future of our children that we retain order in our immigration policies. Not only would opening up the floodgates cause socioeconomic problems for the country, but allowing known criminals to reside here is an unwise decision on every possible level. But that's just what's happening. Obama's free passes and handouts to anyone clever enough to jump, swim, walk here has allowed those who make it here to have almost unfettered access to unlimited resources to support them while they do whatever they want. In the case of Mexican national Jose Martinez, even his repeated one-way bus passes back to Mexico wasn't enough to deter him from making the trip over and over, 20 times in fact. The ICE frequent flyer must have had a good reason for coming. You're probably thinking, maybe he was determined to make a good living for his family, or he just loved freedom so much that he couldn't be kept away. The last one was kind of true, since that freedom allowed him to kidnap, rape and sodomize innocent Americans, according to the Daily Mail. Even though he was caught, tried and sentenced for his crimes, he doesn't show the slightest remorse for his crimes. In fact, he showed up for his sentencing with a sadistic smile, threatening the families of his victims about when he would be seeing them again. A Mexican man who was deported from the U.S. 20 times has been convicted of 10 counts including sexual assault in Oregon. On Friday, Sergio Jose Martinez, 31, was sentenced to 35 years in prison in a Portland courtroom after pleading guilty to kidnapping, sexual assault, sodomy and several other counts, Coin reported. Martinez smiled throughout the trial, and as he left, he gave one grim parting shot to his 2 victims' relatives: "See all you guys in hell. If this doesn't make your skin crawl, I don't know what will." It's also proof positive that even though America's history has been built by our acceptance of immigrants, they're not all coming here for the purpose of life, liberty and the pursuit of happiness. Some come to cause pain and suffering, no matter the consequences. It stands to reason that if a person is willing to repeatedly break the law to enter this country, they might just be willing to break it when they get here too. In this case, the bloody consequences of an inadequate border wall will be being felt by Martinez's victims for the rest of their lives. More from our source about the details of Martinez's crimes. Warning: these descriptions are not for the faint of heart. The first attack occurred early on the morning of July 24th, when Martinez entered the northeast Portland home of a 65-year-old woman through a window she had left open to cool the house. Wielding a metal rod, Martinez told the woman to get down on the ground, where he bound and blindfolded her, threatened to murder her, and then sexually assaulted her, KGW reported. He stole the woman's purse and car. She called the police from a neighbor's home, and they located the vehicle and put it under surveillance, while they kept an eye on the car. However, Martinez was stalking his second victim in a parking garage on the corner of Northeast 21st Avenue and Northeast Halsey Street. He approached her carrying a knife and made her get into her car. As he got in after her, she attempted to escape, but he was able to grab her and start slamming her head into the ground. The woman called out for help, and as passers-by approached, Martinez attempted to steal her car, then fled on foot when it failed to start. Police caught him minutes later. 2 relatives of one of the victims, and one of the victims herself, spoke during the sentencing phase Friday, in which Martinez often grinned. A brother of one victim told Martinez, "Sergio, no sentencing is enough. I'd rather you rot in hell."